Welcome back, everybody, to Doing Life Radio. Joyce, what do we have going on this episode?
Today we're talking about forced family fun.
Forced family fun.
Yeah, so family activities that you do all together. Everyone in your household must participate.
Yes, and we had a whole lot of different activities there, and we're hoping that you might have some activities to share with us. We did go on and on a little bit.
Yeah, as soon as we ended the show, I turned to Sam and I was like, you were rambling. Like, this was way longer than it needed to be because you wouldn't stop rambling about, just get to the point. And I couldn't believe how he responded.
I told her I had to ramble because she wouldn't let me talk.
Yeah, apparently I was rambling. I don't know.
No, I didn't say you were rambling. I just said you wouldn't let me in on this forced family conversation. I felt like it was forced out of the family fun.
You guys are going to have to let us know about this because I felt like he just was going on and on about certain subjects, so I had to pipe in and be like, let's move the show along.
Well,
so you guys let us know.
Let's go ahead and get to the show, but while we're thinking of that, why don't you leave us a comment, rate us, like us, take a screenshot. If you're listening on your phone, take a screenshot and tag us on your Instagram account.
That'd be fun.
And we will comment on that. If you comment anything, we will respond and we will get back to it. And listen to the episode. Let us know what we could be doing better with our forced family fun. And we look forward. So here is the Rimple Forced Family Fun.
Hi guys, welcome back to Doing Life Radio. Today we're talking about forced family fun.
Forced family fun. This is something very common in our household, common in your sister's house.
Yeah, so truth be told, we did not come up with this nifty phrase, forced family fun. This is something my oldest sister has incorporated into their lives, and anytime they do a family trip, they refer to it as forced family fun, which we thought was fantastic, and we just stole it right from them.
Totally.
Now it's ours.
Adopted that in, and on rare occasions, it is forced family fun.
Yeah, sometimes we're forcing the kids because they don't really want to do what we have planned. And sometimes we're forcing ourselves because it's just more easy to stay home and kind of get some things taken care of on our to-do list. But spending time that is quality with your kids, we think is so super important that we will force ourselves to do it even if we don't want to. But in the end, we're always super glad we did. But our kids are really awesome, so it's a little easier for us.
We do have some great kids, and on that, sometimes they force us into family fun.
Yeah.
And we'll reference that. There's certain activities they want to do that, quite frankly, we want nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
But it's us, and we get to do it together. So we say, all right, as long as it's together, that's a completely different story. So we go ahead with that.
So we thought we'd talk about some things that are inexpensive that you can do with an entire family with multiple ages. And then maybe a couple of things that we like to splurge on here and there. But we are penny pinchers in general.
Yep.
So all of our activities tend to be very inexpensive.
Yeah, we save up for the big ones. We make it a point. We just don't willy-nilly go out and splurge on those things. We definitely like to be frugal and smart, using coupons and apps like Groupon.
Yeah, a lot of the things we do, we get on Groupon. So we'll talk about that. Of course, we do love us some Groupon. And I also wanted to talk about quality versus quantity, because the things we're going to discuss today are going to be quality time things that you are generally leaving the house to do, or the things that are done in the house you're doing together as a family. So that would be your quality time. But I don't want to denote quantity time, because I actually think that's more important. Don't you think so, than quality time?
I think out of quantity comes quality. And I think you need to be intentional about spending time with your children, spending time as a complete family unit as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, and I think dinner is probably the most important time you can spend together. Now, just like you, we can't have dinner together every night because, one of our sons has an activity that goes till 9:30 at night once a week. I work till 9 p.m. once a week. And
I have random meetings.
You have meetings in the evening a lot. So we do not eat together as a family unit 7 nights a week.
No.
But we shoot for at least 4.
We try our best that when we are available at dinner time, we sit down and we eat together.
At the table, no phones, no television.
No TV, no radio going on in the background, everything. Yeah. It's just us sitting around the table. And we try to be very intentional about that because it's very easy, especially when we're tired and exhausted after a long day, to just say, okay, boys, you do your thing.
Yeah,
sit
grab your plate.
at the breakfast bar.
If you want to eat the breakfast bar, we're going to eat in front of the TV. And we have done that. There are definitely nights where I've made dinner and it's like, just grab a plate and eat where you want, and I'll see you in the morning. Like, We've all been there. But that's not our goal. Our goal is to sit together, eat together, and have an actual conversation. And yes, our conversations can be very one-sided where we're like, how was your day? Tell me about your day. Tell me something. Give me anything. Let me know you're alive. Speak back to me. And sometimes we don't get a whole lot of response.
We are actively performing dentistry. We're literally pulling teeth when it
Pulling
comes to
words out of their
conversations.
mouths because we
But-
now have a 14-year-old and he does not talk.
Well, he didn't talk as a 4-year-old. He was very limited in
He's
his conversation.
talking less the older he gets.
But we have two different dynamics going on with our children, where we have one who wants to share every detail.
Every minute detail
For instance,
of his life.
last night we were able to sit down and have dinner together, and he said, "Oh yeah, mommy," and this is how he starts all his conversations.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's like something just dawned on him in every conversation he has. Oh yeah, mommy. Oh yeah, daddy. So today in such and such a class, and I can't remember what class. I think language arts class. I remember that because he said, "Well, my friend so and so was talking to so and so, and he was saying, oh, I'm going to stick this thing down my throat and make myself throw up." And then later at the end of class, I was like, "Where is so and so?" Like, "Oh, well, he threw up." So he succeeded. He was successful.
Yeah,
Like, that's a story we get at dinner.
Yeah, he gives us every detail of the day. Where
Lots
our
of details.
oldest son, nothing. I'll see something on Facebook where he's in a picture, and I'm like, Taden, did this take place today? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got a major award. I didn't know. Oh yes, that happened
Yeah,
today.
it's all crinkled up in his backpack.
Yeah, we
He
get no
brings it in.
information from him. So yeah, I would say quantity time, especially family dinners, is most important. But today we're going to really focus on quality time and some fun things you can do that don't cost a whole lot of money.
Well, we're going to assume the things we've done that don't cost a whole lot of money, but then we'll also reference some things that do cost a little bit of money that are worth the investment. We're going to go above and beyond like movies and all that. I think the easy default is when your kid sees a movie that they want to see, and it's quote unquote family friendly, which is getting harder and harder these days.
Right.
Even these PG, movies that are coming out are they're so dangerous. You got to be very careful. Movies are an easy default. It's an easy thing to get together. It's easy. They get excited. It gives you something to talk about afterwards. I don't want to devalue watching movies
No, going
together.
to movies is fine. But I think even better than going to movies is we have a couple of TV shows that we watch together as a family specifically. Like we're not
Mm-hmm.
watching them without the kids. And they tend to be more interactive. So America's Got Talent is probably the best example I can think of.
Yes.
Because we will not watch it unless all four of us are home and all four of us together, or someone's going to have a total meltdown if we watch without. And then yeah, probably me. And then we have our favorites, and they're typically not the same, and we can debate it and talk about it and argue about it. And it's, it's conversation that maybe doesn't necessarily matter who wins America's Got Talent, but
doesn't
it's
matter at all.
conversation.
And on top of that, we don't vote. We only vote in the
We
house.
never vote. Every
We-
single year, our oldest is like, we should vote. I want to vote. And we try to explain to him the reason we can't vote is we don't watch it live because we hate commercials. We watch it later after the fact so we can skip through all
Yeah,
that.
we're always behind the game on it.
Yeah.
Plus, it's late. Like we have a set bedtime for our children somewhere
Yeah.
between 8:30, 8:45. A hard set bedtime somewhere between 8 and 9 o'clock.
Usually 9.
That they need to go to bed, and these shows run till 9, 10 o'clock.
So we don't really watch it live.
Not
But that's a
together as
good
a
one
family.
to chat about on they really love America's Funniest Home Videos, which I can't believe is
Yes.
still a thing.
Love it.
I don't love that one. I don't think it's funny. It makes me cringe. It's all about people getting hurt and then everybody laughing. I don't enjoy
Yeah,
it at all. But I
you-
do enjoy that they want to watch it with us. They
You go
always want to watch it
Total
together.
mom mode
I
when
hate
you
that
go
show.
into those things.
But I will watch it, and I will watch it with them because they enjoy that.
Kid falls flat on his face, and you have 3 people just dying laughing.
And I'm like,
and
oh
Joe's
my gosh, why are they recording this? Pick up that child.
Someone get that baby, get that
Yes,
baby.
call the police. What is wrong with these people?
But that's what's hilarious. Now they start doing things where dads start getting hit in the danger zone. Now
That's
you're cracking
funny.
up. Now everyone's
That's
cracking
funny,
up.
but that's a
And I'm
grown
the one
adult.
going,
A grown adult
help
getting
that
hurt
guy, help that guy.
Is different. I don't like when kids get hurt.
Usually
It's
the
not
kids
funny.
aren't getting hurt in America's Funniest. They a lot of times
They're like face planting and they're like
Right.
ripping
But
through trampolines
it's not
and
like
things like
dangerous
that.
things like they're getting cut and knives are getting thrown at them or everything. It's just
Yeah.
typical falling down.
whatever.
They're pretty safe on those to make sure the kids aren't.
Anyway,
getting in
that's a
total
good one.
pain.
Watching more like interactive TV shows that you can talk about, laugh about. So what are some other things we like to do?
Well, I know that on snow days we're forced to spend time together. Thank you, school systems.
Yeah, we love when there's what we call a free day off, a day where we're not planning to be off, and all of us are off because that's
Which
such a rare thing.
is a rare thing. I have a much more flexible schedule when it
Yeah.
comes to these kind of areas, and if there happens to be a day where the school calls at 3:30 in the morning, says we are canceled, then we go. We turn the boys' alarms off if they have their alarm set.
We can typically all stay home together. As long as the salon is closed as well, then we can all stay home
Correct.
together.
And then we're in hangout mode for most of the day, which is very fun.
So on days like that, we always make a hot breakfast.
Yep. We
Typically, the kids.
meaning you.
I do, yes. Typically, the kids will fix themselves cereal for breakfast in the morning, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's just one of the battles that I let go of. But typically, if we're all home together, we make a hot breakfast and a big breakfast, like waffles and eggs and bacon.
If we have bacon in the house,
the
bacon.
whole
Yep.
shebang. And we'll get out, like, if we have whipped cream and fruit, and like, we will just make a huge buffet out of breakfast just because it's such an
Such a good
Just,
time.
just
We're
a strange
together.
thing for all four of us to be home for breakfast together.
The boys are
So
still
we
in their
always make a
pajamas.
to-do about it, and they love it.
They absolutely love it, and they scarf down everything. You make so much. There's usually extra for
Yeah, I
lunch or
try
breakfast
to,
the next day.
anytime I cook, actually, anytime I try to cook like 3 times as much as we need, because then I like to package up leftovers.
Yeah, but that's a nice easy one because then the boys can just reheat it and they're
Yes.
ready to go.
They're good to
I tend not to. I'm not a waffle guy. I don't like waffles. Don't like pancakes. But I'll sit down and eat with the family just because we're together. And that it's not early in the morning. Usually it's later. Like we
Oh yeah, by the time that's done, it's 10, maybe 11.
take advantage. So now we're not doing lunch. Or lunch is pushed back. Everything, the whole day gets pushed back. But during that time too, sometimes in the middle of the day, you'll pull the kids aside and you'll bake like cookies or
We love to bake cookies on a
hot
snow
chocolate.
day. Yeah, all that fun stuff. We try to take advantage of it. The things that we don't typically do. We're definitely in the kitchen on a snow day.
Yeah, but
much all
we're
day.
not in it all day. The kids still play their video games. They take advantage of the day. We let them do things.
Take a break day.
Yeah, if they're off from school, let them have some fun. So, yeah, they're down playing video games. Maybe sometimes I'll jump in with them.
Or they go out and play in the snow, depending on.
If there's enough snow.
Yeah, if there's
We're
enough
living
snow.
in Jersey, it's so... We
But
almost
this
never
year,
get enough.
we didn't have great snow, and they were out trying their hardest to make these pathetic snowmen.
This
So
year
they-
was a
they were
unique year. They
trying.
did have their cousins in, and
Yeah.
their cousins hadn't been around the snow for a long time, so that helped force them.
But let's
outside
talk
of that.
about when we're not home, things we're going out of the house to do. One of the things we did, and we got a Groupon for it, because like I said, we're cheap, and we did, what is it called where they lock you in the room?
an escape room.
Yeah, we did an escape room, and the kids loved the escape room.
They love these kids. Now we're really blessed in that our kids, that's how their minds work. They're always trying to figure things out. They have these abstract minds where they can kind of
Right.
they love puzzles. They love those
I would
things. So
still
we're
be
very
stuck in
fortunate.
the escape room. I hated it. I didn't want to solve the puzzles.
It gets frustrating,
It's
especially
so
when you think
frustrating.
we had it. We were so close. We were 2 minutes away from getting out. All we had to do was figure out the combination of
Yeah.
the lock, but nothing identified how you're holding the lock for the pattern at which
Yeah,
direction
and
it had to be.
they were like on it. They're like reading these clues, and they're like, "Oh, you need to go here and put this here and da da da." And I'm like, "Well, okay, give it a try." And
Yeah, we flew.
they caught on to it quick,
They caught on
and
very
we
fast. We had, don't say we, I was there.
I
was
did
with them.
not.
We had a really good time, lots of back and forth, and because of the style of escape room we were in, it had 3 different sections, and ultimately they weaved into each other. So the boys, they have a great recall, and they're, oh, well, this refers back to that. So
Yeah,
while they're
I
working
didn't
on
get
one
any of
little
that.
project, I'm working on another one, and it all kind of came together in the end. But escape rooms are a lot of fun, even if you fail, because
Yeah,
there's
it
just
was
something
fine.
about being together, laughing
together.
You have to be willing to laugh at yourself through that process, because some of these escape rooms will make you feel like a bona fide idiot, like you just have no idea what's going on. And but I would say challenge yourself. Like maybe you have to do. They have different levels. Pick an easy one to start if you're afraid.
Well, depending also on how old your children are. I
If they're young
if you're going with
children-
young kids, you want a fairly easy one.
Yeah, I don't think you're not bringing toddlers or anything into
No,
that.
but elementary.
Early elementary, you could probably get away with in different
Yeah.
escape rooms. Call ahead, talk to the individual, say, hey, this is the age group that we're coming with.
Yeah, and they'll guide you into what you should
And
try.
I strongly encourage to get together with other family friends too, because you're going to be in with groups. So why don't you join your Force Family Fun with someone else's Force Family Fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now,
It's always better when you know the people. We were lucky enough that it was just the four of
Yeah.
us when we went, so that was great.
Yeah, and we're not opposed to other people and joining other people, but in a situation like this where you're trying to figure things out and trying to work together, what a neat dynamic as a family
Yeah.
to try to work through that stuff together. You don't have, the scientist over here has got it all figured out and he's just flying right through it, and you're not learning and growing through the process. And I think that's the other thing too. Even now, we could talk to the boys, and it's been probably almost a year since we've done it. We could talk to the boys, and they can remember certain elements
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, they
and then
really enjoyed
the
it.
next thing out of the mouth is, when are we going to do that again?
Yeah.
And that's where it comes down to. It's a Groupon thing. It's a discount. We're trying to be, careful
it's
of
a
our
time
time.
thing.
It does take a lot. It takes time to get there. It takes time to do
Yeah.
it and leave. Now, things like this, we always plan to go out to eat afterwards, like just a small lunch,
Yeah,
nothing
lunch.
elaborate. Diners, we love diners. Diners. Well,
Yeah.
we have a 14-year-old son who eats anything. He
An
does
absurd
have.
amount of food.
He does
And
have
we
a peanut allergy, so
all
we have to be
four of
careful
us
of that.
love breakfast.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we gravitate toward diners, because it doesn't matter what time of the day it is, we want breakfast.
Always Western omelet, add sausage on the thing. That's what I want. Extra cheese. I want that omelet. And now, of course, with our diet, I'm not getting the hash browns or anything like that. So I'm all in on the omelet.
Yeah, the
And
omelet's all you need. You're fine.
That's everyone's good.
All right. So what else? We discovered this. It's an app, I guess, that you download. I'm not sure if it's an app, but you go to a major city. We did it in Philadelphia, and they'll give you a scavenger hunt. And I think that was also bought on Groupon.
Yeah. I think it's called Explore the City. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But there's something along that lines, and it is a city scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
So
so
they will.
you will. I don't know if you download an app, but you get it on your phone, and it'll tell you where to start. So you start in that exact spot in the city, and then based on clues, you'll find yourself all over the city, and you get to explore all different types.
Now, for us, Philadelphia is special because it's a lot of historical elements,
Yeah.
and you're walking, and it's all within blocks of each other. So you're walking from this landing point. This is where the Constitution was signed. This is where the Liberty Bell is. This is where Ben Franklin wrote this, and so you're kind of walking through and piecing
You're learning
all the
while you do it,
historical Betsy
and it
Ross.
stops the time. Like when you solve a clue, it won't start the time again until you open the new clue. So if you solve a clue and you say, "Okay, I want to take an hour now. We're in a nice location. We want to get lunch." All your time is stopped if you're really nervous about winning the whole situation, which we were a nightmare. The whole thing, we went on an absurdly hot day with a
Yep.
really large group of people, and by the end we were all like, we're done with this. But I think if the weather wasn't so hot, we would have enjoyed it a lot more.
The concept was great. I
Yeah.
think also too, you got to take it to where you want to take it. There was, especially the Philadelphia one. Some other cities might be a little different because it's only so much a footprint you can cover walking on
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah, we
and
were exhausted.
we were definitely exhausted, and I don't think you have to finish those things. Go to where the fun stops.
Yeah, I
There's
think
no
once
need
it
to
stops
stretch
being
it a
fun, you
little
don't
bit.
have to continue with it. But we did enjoy it. I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, not with as large a group, to be honest, because that is just so much harder to pull everyone in together. If it was just our
I don't
little
know.
family,
I thought it was fun.
it was fun for a bit, but once one person starts to get tired of
Then
it, then
it
it
starts
starts
to
to
ripple
slowly
effect,
ripple
yeah.
through.
Okay,
Where if
that's
you
fair.
have a smaller group, it's easier to identify when someone's getting a little miserable or kind of done with it, and you're dealing with you got to cater to the youngest person in your family when it comes to situations like that. And to be frank, not everything is going to be all that fascinating. You got to.
Yeah, a lot of the historical stuff, everyone's like, all right, that's great. Let's move on. And
You've read it in school, or in this case, we grew up in the area, so we're very familiar with it. So we want to move on, but there's someone in the group who wants to read and study more. So, I'm very aware that I don't need to absorb everything that's going on there.
Yeah.
It's cool. I've seen it. Let's move on to the next one. And then I know if I'm getting fascinated about something, I'm trying to make sure everyone else is as
Right, you don't wanna
fascinated.
hold up the
I don't want to
group.
be that guy that everyone's frustrated with.
how about mini golf?
Yeah, I really love mini golf, but I don't love it as much playing with my family.
Really? Why? We're a really fun group.
We are a fun group, and we
We're
have
the
a
best, really.
great time through the first 4 or 5 holes.
Oh, yeah. Then we're all pretty much done.
Then everyone's done but me. Now, I'm very competitive and very much into sports. So this kind of combines the two.
competitive
We're
with
very
mini golf.
competitive. But when you're done, everyone's done and I'm
You know why?
ready to
Because
go.
usually when you play mini golf, it's like in the dead of summer. So usually, and if you're waiting behind a large family, that's the worst.
Yeah, but it's like I have certain like there's etiquette out on like I play golf. I know what golf etiquette is. My family doesn't know golf
He
etiquette.
knows golf
whatever.
etiquette.
And so when I get out there, I'm like, all right, I'm trying to get the lowest score I possibly can, trying to be respectful for everyone else out there. And then you got our boys are swinging full tilt like they're out at the driving range,
Yeah.
trying to get the hole in one on every hole. And then halfway through, I find out I'm losing to both my children, so that amps up my thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I want to really tie this thing in, and it's there's then there's just kind of like oh, there's a butterfly, and
Right.
oh there's
and toward
oh,
the
there's-
end,
there's
it's
so much
kind of like, all
going
right,
on.
we just have to finish. But it is a good family time that's inexpensive.
It is relatively
that
inexpensive.
most of the kids always enjoy.
Yeah, just be willing. Like 18 holes is
It can be a long time.
It can be a long
but
time.
I think also be willing to be like, all right, we're done. If you get to 9 holes and 4 out of 4 are miserable, you're done.
Yeah, move on. Like
Yeah.
you got, you don't feel like you have to squeeze every penny out of it. You got the experience. You had fun.
And
you
if
have
the
something
kids
to
don't
talk
want to
about.
keep score, don't make them keep score.
Yeah, I have to keep score.
I know.
That's
And
just
our
the
kids
way
too. No,
it is.
I think all 4 of us have to. We have to leave with a
Right.
winner. But that's just how we're wired. We all want to win. We want to not only win, but we want to demolish each other. But not all, no, they may just want to putt it around, especially with the younger kids.
Definitely younger kids. It's a different. Trust me, it's a different experience when they're younger
Yeah.
as opposed to getting older and going through. So yeah, I enjoy half the experience. That's probably a fair thing.
Sure,
But
fine.
having said that, I always want to play miniature golf. I always want. Every time we go up to one, I'm like, I want to play. I want to
Yeah,
play.
you're usually the driving
I am the
force
driving
behind us
force
going to
behind
play
it, 'cause
mini golf.
I love it. I love the golf courses. I like how they're laid out. Like I
Yeah.
love the visual
The kids
aesthetic
like
that
the
they put to it.
inside, like glow in the dark ones.
Yeah, that's
that doesn't
fun
do
too.
anything for
and
me.
those are a little different dynamics. Now you're just kind of it's just fun. Like the more you have to look at, the more fun it is. There's a couple. Honestly, in my head, I can think of a couple courses I've never had a chance to play at that I want to play at because it looks so cool. Like there's a
Hey, I
part
guess
of
we're playing mini
there's
golf
a part
soon.
of me that just wants to get out there and play. But I know getting into it, like I have to have a different mentality. I have to change my mentality going into it. Just playing, just having
This
fun.
is family
we're
mode.
loose. It's family mode. Like when we do those black light ones, it's just fun. It's just looking at all the black lights, enjoying the time. I get my mentality doing that's a little bit different. And then of course the younger the kids are, it's just fun to watch them hit and get excited when the ball goes in
Yeah.
the hole and all that. So I guess sometimes I have to turn off my my competitive like edge and not get frustrated when I'm hitting
Yeah,
a
just have fun
10
with it.
on a par 2.
So probably in our household, and we may be the only household left in America that feels this way, but Pokemon Go is still a major activity here.
We're not the. It's Pokemon Go is a fun activity
Yeah,
in
tell
this
them
house.
what is Pokemon Go.
So if you don't know what Pokemon Go is, if you don't know what Pokemon is, there's no way we can describe it in this short amount of time. So
Okay, tell them, give
you
them
have
the
to do a
Reader's
little
Digest
bit of
version.
research. So Pokemon is a Japanese. I might be wrong at that. It's a Japanese animation, and it's like these little made-up creatures, caricatures, and man, if our boys are listening to this, So, what's the one Pokemon you know?
Pikachu.
Pikachu. So if you know Pikachu, that little yellow rat electric tail thing, that is Pokemon. So Pokemon Go is a social app where you're walking around in the real world looking at a virtual world laid out on top where these creatures show up. And they're showing up at different locations everywhere. The more you walk, the more you find. What is really good about this app is force people to get outside, to go out, walk around, take their time, and it has fallen off in popularity. When it came out, it was huge.
Yeah, even my friends were playing this Pokemon Go. I have never had a desire to do this, but adults, children, everyone.
It's got nostalgia because there is a generation, actually our generation is the one it's pointing to because we had it growing up. Now I wasn't into it.
I don't remember that, but okay.
There are, right, it depends on your family dynamic. So there were friends and it was a very niche thing back in the day when we were growing up that's just kind of exploded and become more popular, and our kids are latched on to it. Now, truth be told, there is an element that a lot of families are not comfortable with. There's a mystical, magical, alternate
and
world.
I don't know that I really love that, but it
No,
seems
we don't.
pretty innocent.
Correct. And the way we approach these kind of things with our children is we continue to have conversation with them. They understand the silliness of it. They are locked in the make-believe.
Yeah.
And so we're very intentional about having those conversations and just...
But it is a bit of a competition, which they like, right? Because they've got to beat these other teams. They're like on a red team or a blue team or something, and they've got to demolish the other teams,
there are
right?
4 different teams. There's gyms, battle gyms, I guess would be the easiest way to describe it, where they have to build up their characters and strengthen them. So there's a little bit of, like, taking your video games on the road with you is what this is. So what it does for us is if we're going to a new location and our children are like, oh, I don't want to go, then we tell them.
We're like, well, you can play Pokemon Go while we're there. I bet they might have a gym, or you might be able to get some Pokeballs. And so for some reason, that's really been... It's been very helpful for us because we can pretty much take them anywhere. And especially if it's some sort of a landmark like a national park or a museum or even like big churches, things like that, they tend to be major hot spots for Pokemon. So we camp a lot, which we'll talk about. But when we camp, we always try to find like what is like sort of a national park or even an amusement park, some sort of big landmark where we can take the kids because there's usually some nice things to do around there that we explore while we're there. And then they get to explore their Pokemon virtual world there as well.
It's a little bit of that forced family fun where we're like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Here's the fun element. This is a carrot we're going to dangle out for you. You get to play this game in the process. And then, take a break from that and we'll get to enjoy this. And it's kind of the rope-a-dope. We put it out, this is what we're going to do, and then bring it back, no, this is what we're actually going to do.
No, we let them play.
No. We let them. What I'm saying is we entice them with the play, and then eventually in the midst of that, we do more. Right. And
so
it's turned out to be fun.
It's not really that close to us. It's like a 40-minute drive, but it's a really hot spot for Pokemon. If you go around lunchtime,
Red Bank National Park,
you'll see men in business suits out on their lunch break collecting Pokemon. It's the craziest thing. Like, I don't know if these men are single or what their situation
they're probably
is,
single if they're
but
playing
it's
Pokemon.
really bizarre to
I
see.
didn't put that out there.
But so people go there to play Pokemon, but it's beautiful, and there's it's right near a lake or a river, and there's
right next to the river.
Running trails and picnic pavilions. So we love to go there just to go. We like to go there to jog or to walk, and then the kids like to go to collect their Pokemon. So we could go there for an entire day, and for a while we'll be together, and then we'll split up and let the kids go on their own. And they like to have a little bit of independence now that they're getting a little older, but it's still, we're all in the same vicinity.
Yeah, we're still within the eye line of them. It might be a distance, but they are older now, so we let them have that walk around. So we get to do our thing and jog, walk, talk. It's just kind of our exercise time to be together. They're getting exercise. They're walking around. They're super excited. They're catching and playing all these games. So Pokemon Go has been a really good thing for our family, just as an excuse to get out. Plus, we live just down the road from Wheaton Village here in Millville. That's another hot spot for Pokemon.
Yeah, Wheaton Village is a big hot spot for Pokemon. I don't really know why, but
they have a lot of gyms and it's an easy walk around. But that's another situation where our kids are forcing us into family fun because can we go to Wheaton Village? So, and it's close enough to walk. It's a decent little walk. It's close enough for us to walk. So we walk there, we walk around, and our kids are actively getting us out of the house, which I
and
love.
Anytime we can get our kids out of the house and either biking or walking, we count that as a win.
Yeah, that's definitely tops on the list. So Pokemon Go, whether you're into it or not, for us it works. If your kid's kind of into it. I used to have my own account. Then Javen got his own phone, absorbed my account. But even when I had my own account, it was so that Javen wouldn't monopolize Tadden's account.
So one of the other things we like to do to get the whole family involved is walking the dogs. Because we have found after dinner, if we suggest to the kids that we take a walk, we get a lot of like, I don't want to, I'm so tired, blah, blah, blah. But for some reason, if we say, why don't we take the dogs for a walk? They want to do it. I don't know why that's so much more exciting than just hanging out with us because we're pretty fun parents.
You would think.
But no, if we've learned the secret and it's bring the dogs. And luckily we have 2 kids, we have 2 dogs, both of them get a dog. They're not really great dog walkers, but it's fine.
Yeah. At least we're walking. We're going around.
The dogs are kind of walking them, but it's fine.
The dogs are super excited to go outside and just the whole process. I think that's part of it too is the dogs get riled up. So
the dogs are excited, so then the kids get excited.
And we go out and it's a good time. We'll just
Yeah.
walk around the neighborhood, seeing other people, and yeah, it's a good time. Easy way to get out. And just a little side note, that's the first time I've ever heard you say we're lucky to have 2 dogs.
Yeah, that's probably the only situation I can think of that having multiple dogs is a good thing.
It does help.
Yeah.
And the boys, they're great with it. One of our traditions every year that we kind of built in over the last, I don't know, 5-6 years is picking out our own Christmas tree. And one of the exciting things
they
that
love
we do
to bring the dogs to
is
the Christmas tree
bring the
park
dogs
or
and
Christmas tree farm.
yeah, the Christmas tree
Yeah.
farm. So we'll go down, we'll walk the dogs out in the farm. Javen, make sure to tell us every tree that is now christened with our dogs.
Yeah.
They're so excited. And they literally run up and down the aisles of trees. They're not looking at a single
don't
tree.
care.
They're just running with their dogs, just 2 boys and their dogs. It's just a wonderful, like one of those great experiences. Looking at the pictures, they're holding the dogs. You're seeing as the
Yeah, and
boys
then we
grow.
can see continuously every year
It's
the 4 of us with our 2 dogs
that is a
and our tree.
great thing. So even if you don't pick out your own Christmas tree and you use an artificial tree, take your dogs
Go
to
run through the
to
tree
Target.
farm.
Yeah, walk them up and down the aisles. It's just a great family experience.
Yeah.
You can't do that with cats. So just saying.
Alrighty. So one of the other things on our list is going out for ice cream, which I know seems pretty simple, but we try to keep sweets out of the house now. We don't keep ice cream in the house. So when we go out for ice cream, it's kind of a big deal. And it's something that we do together as a family. So anytime you can do something together, the entire family, you just want to make it as fun for the kids as possible so that they want to do it. So anytime you mention water ice or ice cream, it doesn't matter what time it is, they're on board. It doesn't matter if they have to spend time with mom and dad. They are all about it.
And it's relatively inexpensive. There's
Yeah.
little ice cream shops around, and it doesn't take long. It's not a lot of time, like going there and getting the ice cream.
But if we find that it's been a week, 10 days where we've all been running, everyone's on different schedules, we'll be like, you know what, tonight we need to go out for ice cream. This is the night. We just need to sit down, the 4 of us, get in the car, go somewhere, and just really be intentional about taking that half an hour to just enjoy a treat together.
Yeah, it's very simple. And since we're on the diet that we're on, it's a nice break from the diet, the ice cream. Now, our favorite ice cream is not near us.
What's our favorite ice cream?
Coors Brothers ice cream down
Oh,
the shore.
that's different. That's not ice cream. That's soft serve. But yeah, Core Brothers, I have a little small obsession with it. One of my friends told me that she didn't like it, and I was pretty offended.
One of your former friends told you.
No. But Core Brothers has a peanut issue, so we can't all eat Core Brothers together. So that's not something we would do for this activity. But if we go to the boardwalk, the kids luckily want water ice. So we usually get them their water ice, and then we'll walk to Core Brothers, we'll get our Core Brothers, and then we all sit down together and eat our treat. So that's the bonus of being at the boardwalk, is everyone can get whatever they want.
You can have your sweet treat, whatever
Yeah.
flavor. There's a ton of different options. And that segues into one of our other great family activities that we really enjoy,
what?
the beach.
We love the beach, yeah. Now, we love the beach differently, though, because when I go to the beach, I want a magazine, I want a cold drink, I want a chair, I want sand in my feet, and I want you to leave me alone.
And I go to the beach, and me and the boys want to be in the water, boogie boarding, swimming, walking up and down. Like, it's an
And
activity.
it really took Sam a long time to figure out how I enjoy the beach, because he
forever.
always wanted me to be in the water with them. And I will go in the water, and I enjoy boogie boarding, but for a time. I don't want to do it for 3 hours. To me, that's not relaxing. I want to go to relax. And if it's relaxing for you, then you go do it and leave me alone. But it used to be like almost stressful, because you'd be like, you should want to be spending time with us in the water.
Like, come on.
I can't do it for 3 hours. It's making me nuts. I'm waterlogged. I'm done. So he finally has figured out that all 4 of us are happier if you just let me come in when I want to come in and leave me alone and let me just relax. Like, to me, there's nothing better than sitting with my feet in the sand and just relaxing and having that hot sun beat on me. I love it.
Yeah,
and watching them. I love to watch the 3 of them in the water. That's enjoyable to me.
And when she gets baked out, then she comes, gets in the water, cools off,
Yeah.
and goes back. And it is an experience. The boys are super pumped when you come in. I'm super pumped when you come in with us. And sometimes we're just standing in the water, just standing there,
Yeah,
enjoying
they'll
the
be in there
waves.
all day long.
Once you get used to it, you don't want to get out, because then you have to restart. Now, Javen is also now getting into this thing about burying himself. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, he likes to, like in the sand, totally bury himself, everything except for his cute little head popping out.
So we've had some fun, and anytime Taddin can make his brother disappear, he's all in
It's
on
all
it.
about it, yeah. And I always like to fix us a lunch. We always go with the cooler, and we have all of the treats, and yeah, it's just fun to make a day out of it. Also, and I think I may be alone in this, especially in our family, I get nervous when all four of us are in the water. I'm like, what if somebody steals our keys and our cell phones and all of our money, and we're going to be stranded here in the beach, and it's 100 degrees outside, and we have no way to call or get home? Like, I realize that's probably not going to happen, but when all four of us are in the water, you can be sure I'm wondering if somebody has stolen my car.
Yeah, you tend to be a bit more paranoid on things like that.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, everyone else here is on vacation. Everyone else here. Now, I know stealing happens. I know that happens, but we typically don't have the latest phone. We don't have the latest anything.
Yeah, but nobody knows that.
No, but
They
it's
just
buried
see that
away.
there's a bunch of unattended stuff.
Part of it, but we go, and there's lots of other people around in the area to kind of their eyeballs to see. So if someone comes up and unnaturally starts
They
digging
don't
through,
know whose stuff is whose. But anyway, yeah, I would
I
prefer to go in the
believe that
water
people
when
are good.
he's
There
not
you
in
go.
the water, because I do have this fear of us all being stranded on the beach, sunburnt, and no
Yeah.
way to get home.
But the beach is a great option because it's low cost. You may have to pay
you
for
have to pay
parking.
to park.
If you
and-
bring your own food, you should be fine. Depending on the shore, you may have to get beach tags. But
Yeah.
ultimately, when you
Which I think is absurd. Total side note. I think if you live in the state of New Jersey, you should not have to pay to sit on a beach in the state of New Jersey. But that's all I have to say about that.
I'm not opposed to it because someone's got to keep it clean, and the ones that
Yeah,
require
the people who
tags
don't live in New
are
Jersey
very
and
nice.
don't pay absurd taxes, they should buy the beach
The
tags.
shoebies. So you come on down. You don't have a New Jersey
Yeah,
license.
you don't exactly.
We're gonna hit you with a fee.
Right.
We're gonna tag you up. And now, having said that, do we separate North Jersey from South Jersey?
Who cares?
I care because it's my beach.
Anyway, so yeah, when we go to the beach, we are at the beach all day long. Like, we have to make arrangements for somebody to come let the dogs out at some
Yep.
point because we like to get there fairly early. We stay all day. We have lunch on the beach. When we're finished, we pack it all up, and then we hit the boardwalk and we have dinner on the boardwalk. Like, we literally can spend the entire day at any one of the shore points. We enjoy it. We love it.
Yep.
Even though we've been at the beach all day long, we'll just quick throw something over our bathing suits, and just in our own sweaty grossness, we will walk that boardwalk
Embrace
and
the
enjoy
filth.
it.
Yep, that's what it is, and there's nothing like a boardwalk pizza. There is nothing like it.
Yeah, I could take it or leave it. But Core Brothers, that's where it's at.
And you've got me hooked on Core Brothers. So I'm all in on that. So what else do we like to do as a family?
Let me think. What else have we got?
Fall under the forced family.
Well, we did talk
fun.
about camping a little bit. We do camp
just
at least 1 week out of the summer. We're fortunate enough to have a camper, so we don't
Camp,
have
we
to
have
tent
to
it.
kind of air quote it, right? So we're not tenting, we're not climbing up the
No.
hills, we're clearing out.
We've
a
got our
clearing.
own bathroom. We've got our own shower, a little mini kitchen. Like, we've got, we've
Our own
got like a
bathroom
little
that's
trailer.
too small for a full size man. Our own shower's too small for a full size man.
It is small, but we've got it.
But we have it. We have options
Yeah.
to it.
We've got television, Wi-Fi. Like, we're not really
Well, if the
roughing
campsite
it.
has Wi-Fi, we have it, and beds with
Yeah.
soft beds. So yeah, we're quote unquote roughing it. We like to go camping at the campsites.
But the kids like it because it gives them that independence. Like, where we live, I don't really feel comfortable letting my kids go bike by themselves, at least not very far. But at a campground, you can be like, all right, see you in a half an hour. I'll see. Because
They can run laps around the
yeah,
place.
it's just everyone is there together with their family. There's children everywhere. I feel very safe there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the kids like that. We're like, here, take some money for the arcade. We're going to make dinner. And they love that independence.
the arcade's always like 20, 30 years old. It eats half their
And they
quarters,
love
but they
it.
are
They
all
wanna go,
in on
yeah.
it. They enjoy it. And there's generally a pool there.
Yeah.
There's activity centers. There's lots of things. Now, we say we go camping. There's a ton of things to do when you go camping. But one of the things that we are particular on is where we go camping.
Yeah.
We try to find a location that has other activities outside of the campground, whereas a lot of other people will go to the campground and
And
that's
they'll
it.
stay there the
They'll
whole time.
stay the
We're
whole time.
almost never at the campground. We'll try to have a day
The last
where we
couple
stay
years,
there,
we made some
one day
modifications where I said I need at least one day
of downtime.
nothing. Where we're not planning to go out anywhere. We eat. We do cook it a lot. Like, we have a lot of
We
burgers
like to
and
make
dogs.
our own food, yeah.
So we like to have our own food there. That is one of the huge advantages of camping the way we camp. But I finally, after years where we weren't even at a campground,
on the run.
we had
Yeah.
not even made a campfire the one year, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, we have to stay here. I like to get up in the morning, put a little fire on, have my coffee, and the night put a fire on, sit down,
And have more coffee.
more coffee. So we're trying to be more intentional about that. We're not the
Just to slow down. But our kids
yeah.
love, love, love amusement parks.
Yes, they
so
do.
much so that it's totally hijacked our vacations. So typically when we go camping, we will pick an amusement park that we haven't been to before, set up camp as close to the amusement park as possible, and then we'll do a couple days at the park, and then hopefully they'll have a water park as well, so we can spend at least a day or so there. I prefer a water park to an amusement park, but we like to do it all.
Yeah, we definitely aged up. Like, remember when we were younger, we were all about amusement parks, all about it. But now,
Yeah, when like the two of us.
we would go by
Yeah,
ourselves.
we would go and we would kill it all day long. But now I'm 2 rides in and I feel nauseous and my body hurts and I'm like, I can't. These kids want to go over on it over and over. So I have learned to just let the kids go on it,
Yeah,
even though it terrifies me.
That is a big step. Now, when we do these things and go on these rides, and Joyce is sitting next to one of the boys, our son has the lap belt. They have the thing that falls down over their chest, and then they have
Well, I
their
hope
mother's
so, but
arm
not always.
wrapped around
Sometimes
them.
they have just one or the other, and I think they should have both all the time. That's my favorite roller coaster, when they have like a clicky seatbelt,
click around,
and then the
pull
electronic
down.
one. Because what if something happens to the electronics?
You
Then
say
all of a
that,
sudden
but
you've
your
got.
favorite roller coaster are the wooden roller coasters that just have
love
that
the
bar,
wooden
the
roller
click
coasters.
bar.
Yeah,
So
those are my favorite.
anyone who ends up sitting with me, now I've lost a lot of weight since the last time I've been to an amusement park, but anyone who sits with me, they're going to be like,
Yeah,
bouncing
I never let my
all
youngest
over.
sit next to Sam because he's going to fly right out.
It's a completely different ride for him.
And I always make sure the attendants know, which I'm like, these 2 kids that are sitting in front of us, could you just make sure they're like extra tight and really buckled in? And they just look at me and they're like, sure.
Yeah, you're talking to a 17-year-old kid making $8.50 an hour.
That is why I'm double checking. I'm not as confident in the 17-year-old.
But with all the electronics they have nowadays, there's a little light that says if they're locked in or
Look,
not.
things go wrong every day.
But we do enjoy the amusement parks, just walking around. It usually it's the excitement of the kids, and we've really had some great experiences at the parks. We haven't had really bad things where we've had to wait in long lines. I guess it might just be the time of the year that we go.
Yeah, I don't know. We've always been pretty fortunate
We've been
that way.
extremely fortunate. But having said that, I'm done halfway through the day. I'm done with the rides. Now I'm just going on the rides for the kids. When I was
But we do enjoy just walking around and listening to the kids laugh and whatever they want to go on. We're like, all right, go ahead. We'll be sitting out here on the bench.
This is where Force Family Fun comes into play. We also enjoy the shows and the programs
love
that they
the
have.
shows.
One, you get a chance to just sit down.
And
Two,
it's usually air conditioned.
we've been blown away by the talent at some of these parks.
Yeah.
Like, what? How are these people here?
I don't know if they're like an
so-
off season of what they
Oh,
do for a living
man.
or what.
Some of the things that we've seen in these parks,
Or maybe we're
blow
just
us away.
really easily impressed.
Well, we have like zero talent when it comes to things like that. So,
Like acrobatics and things like that. We
so
love
when you
to
see someone
that.
just like climbing a 20-foot ladder and they're just sticking the ladder straight up and climbing straight up in the middle of nothing, like it's not leaned
Yeah.
on anything. You're like, what in the world?
Yeah, we
So
like to be entertained.
We will set aside time. The boys initially they're like, ugh, like.
We have to see a show.
Like if I'm gonna be if I'm gonna be waiting or sitting down, I want to be waiting for a ride. I don't like
Yeah.
they don't. But right there, they get caught into it. They like it. They
They
enjoy
do.
it.
They
We've never
enjoy
had
it.
an experience where like, well, there might have been a couple times, but for the most part, they're not like, oh, I'll never do that again. They're like, oh yeah, that was cool, and then we move on from there. Now, last year? Last year, I got to perform with some of the performers
Oh yeah,
myself.
we may have to pull out those pictures. They dragged Sam up on stage and he danced.
danced.
It was like a Dutch.
Yeah,
what
it was like a German.
Dutch?
It was
German?
like German,
Okay.
Deutschland,
Yeah,
Germantown.
and yeah, that was outstanding.
will-
Let's see if we can drop that
I
video.
will add those pictures and try to find that video.
Yeah.
We'll add it right here into
I have
the
it in my
YouTube
cell phone.
clip.
I'm positive.
So we'll take a little break right here. Time out. You can watch me dance,
Really?
see some pictures. We'll have to do this here. We're not going to take a physical time out here. In the post, when I edit this and do that, then I'll
Put it in.
I'll put it
Okay.
in from there. So everyone will get to see
Okay.
that. If you're on podcast, just imagine this 20-something German girl
With the braids, the
with
whole
the braids all
thing,
sticking
the
out.
goofy outfit,
the classic,
so cute.
what did we say?
The wooden
like
shoes.
grandfather's clock kind of dress or
Yeah,
cuckoo clock. when they have them all, where the little cuckoo bird comes out and all the little people that have their suspenders,
Okay.
the guys have all the suspenders. Anyways, I'm up there dancing with them. Obviously, like tore the
Hamming
house
it up.
down.
He loved it. Yeah.
It was.
They
awesome.
did not have to twist his arm. He wanted to be on stage.
I was all in it. That was a fun experience, and I feel like I brought something to the production. I'm still waiting for them to call me back for this season.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm pretty busy this summer. I might not be able to do that.
Yeah, well, we might skip that this
We got
summer.
a lot going on.
So yeah, I would say the obvious last one would be going out to dinner, right?
Yes.
So going out to dinner as
Like
a
evening
family
dinner.
is always a nice thing to do. We try not to go out to dinner because I prefer to cook our meals.
Yeah, I most of the time prefer to eat at home too. I love
Yeah,
what we have
we
here at home.
prefer to eat at home. It's more relaxed. We get to choose what goes in the food.
We don't have to leave, drive 20 minutes,
Right.
sit in line, waiting.
And it's very expensive when
It
you
does
eat
get
out a lot.
expensive.
It gets to be expensive. So when we do eat out, it's one, either out of necessity because we didn't plan ahead, or two, we want to make an experience. So when we go out to eat, we typically will do an interactive type thing. If you haven't figured that out, we're really into interactive. And we love any hibachi grill.
Yes.
That for all four of us are thoroughly entertained. If we go to Sakura, or there's a couple of other ones that we like to
We love when they
visit.
light the grill up, big
Yeah.
fire comes out. We know it's going to happen all the time. Still hilarious when they have the
Yeah.
little fire going and he pulls out the little fireman.
Little fireman. Yeah.
Little squeeze thing. If you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We still laugh every single time. Spins the egg on the thing, goes, look, egg roll.
Yeah.
Still laugh.
The kids get such a kick out of it that it just makes it so much fun. So I will say that is an expensive evening
It
out.
is an investment, yep.
If you have smaller kids, they can order off of the kids menu, and that is a deal. But our kids are now older, so we've got to buy adult meals, and it is expensive for all four of us to go to a hibachi grill. And then sometimes, anytime my sister's in town, we like to go with them, so we have the whole big family together. So yeah, you just have to plan for that. But that is a fun night, and I
It's always
love the
fun.
food.
We've never not had a good time.
Yeah.
You don't. I don't know if you can say this the right way. Like, you're not sitting there forced talking to each other. You're just enjoying something that's happening in front of you.
You're usually laughing and-
together. There's lots of eye contact because of the way the tables are set up. You usually find a way to, even if you usually had a table of 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Not everyone at the table is a part of your group.
Yeah, they'll just randomly seat people together, and it is a little awkward at first, but it always
you
turns out to be fun. Some guy
always
was
have a
eating off of
conversation.
Sam's plate the last time we went. That was a little weird. But
I've never had this question before. He said, "What do
what
scallops
do scallops taste
taste
like?
like?" I'm like, "Who
And
asked that
nobody could
question?"
really answer him. So
How do you
Sam's like,
define
"Why
that?
don't you just take one?" And he just took one.
The
So
only way you can, how do you describe? If you know how to describe what a scallop tastes
let
like,
us
let us
know.
know,
I mean,
because I
it's
couldn't think
delicious.
about it. Yeah, it's good. It tastes
yeah,
like
it tastes like good.
it tastes in the seafood
Yeah.
family, but good.
So that's a fun one. Another one we like, and this one is very expensive, so this is not your typical day out, but we love Fogo de Chao, or there's a Texas de Brazil.
Like those
There's
steakhouses
the Verdizio
that
grill, but
bring-
any type of Brazilian steakhouse.
the ones where the guys come around with meat on the stick.
Yeah, they
and
come
you
out
have a
with
little
this-
card, red or green.
Yes. Okay. So they come around and they've got meat on a platter with a sword, and they'll be like, "Do you want,
And it
filet
generally
or
looks like a
whatever it
sword.
is that they have?" Which they have a ton of options, and they'll slice it with the sword and put it on your plate, and you can have as much as you want. And then there's also like a salad bar, but it's not like a salad bar. It's all kinds of
cheeses,
really different
and
fun foods.
like exotic cheeses, meats.
Yeah, there's like hearts of palm, and there's all kinds of just different foods.
Yeah, it's not
So-
it's not Chili's salad bar. or
No,
anything
nothing like that.
It's very
I don't think
extravagant.
Chili's has a salad bar, but anyway, so when you go in, they give you like a coaster. It's like a paper coaster,
Uh-huh.
cardboard coaster, and one side is red and one side is green. So if it's on green, that means bring me meat, and they will come around in droves with
Yep.
every kind of meat you can imagine. Each one tasting better than the one before, and give you as much as you want. And if you flip it over to red, you're saying, I don't want meat right now. Like, I'm either enjoying what I'm having or I'm enjoying the salad bar,
I don't have
but
any
I
more
don't want to
nachos
be
left in my belt.
bombarded with all of your meat right now.
Right. This
And-
is where I love these places, and I plan ahead, and I know they're going to bring out lamb.
Yeah, he will hold out. He will pass and
love
pass and pass
lamb.
until
They'll
they bring out the
prime
lamb.
rib. No, rib wrapped in bacon. No, I'm holding out for the lamb. And when he comes out with the lamb, I'm like, just lay it out. Just put it all on there. I feel like I have to get my money's worth out of lamb.
Yeah, I don't enjoy lamb, but
Oh man,
I'll
it's
eat-
good.
I'll
so,
eat the prime
but
rib.
that is
but
a
you
very
can
expensive
also
night.
You can also opt just for the salad bar, which is a much less expensive option. And a lot of times I'll do that because it's too much food.
Right, it's a lot.
It's so much food. So and the salad bar usually has some really enjoyable things that I wouldn't typically be eating. So I will often do that. And sometimes our little one will do that as well because he doesn't have such a big appetite. But our oldest and Sam will definitely go for the whole shebang. Yep. And it's for the two of them, it's worth every penny because I don't know how they still have meat left in the restaurant when we leave.
Yeah, we don't do buffets. We used to do buffets a lot back
we
then.
don't really like buffet food. Well, especially one of our son has a peanut allergy, so that gets to be a little tricky. He can never have a dessert at a buffet, and usually if there's any kind of nuts at a salad bar, we're too worried that people didn't put their utensil back in the right spot. Yep. So we just nixed buffets from our life.
So this is our buffet, and when we say we like to, maybe once a year, maybe we get a chance
it's a special occasion, maybe somebody's birthday or we're on vacation. This isn't something we typically do. So when we do, the kids are really excited. And there's a little bit of a show element to it, which we enjoy.
Yeah.
So I would say if we're going to go out to eat and it's a special occasion, a big deal, we're going to drop some money. We're going to either do a hibachi grill or we're going to do like a fogo de chao.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that tends to be our thing. So that's some of the things and ideas that we have for our Force Family Fun. It's not the end-all, be-all list, and I know there's a lot of things that you do with your families, and share it with us.
Yeah, drop us a comment. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what we should try.
We love ideas. We love trying new things. We're not afraid of trying new things and forcing our children into that.
Yeah.
So we welcome your feedback on that. Let us know what your favorite Force Family Fun is activity, whether you do it now with your family or growing up. And we'll be happy to have that conversation with you, and we'll be happy to share our future experiences as we're hoping to grow through this process.
Sounds good.
All right. That's it. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next episode.